The path from liberty to classical dressage. Liberty is breathtaking, isn't it? And also classical dressage is breathtaking. But there becomes a question about the path from one to the other. And a lot of what's being taught about liberty, about classical dressage, and that gap between the two is confusing to riders. So much to the point that riders just don't really know why they're doing each one, why it's good for their horse, and also what the transition between the two would be. My path was just that. I started out with horses in a major way, studying liberty and doing a lot of liberty with my horses, and absolutely loved it. And now I'm combining all of that knowledge, all of those skills, and bringing it to you, hopefully so that you are going to have a shorter path than I did. Mine was quite long, but if I can give you this information and help you to have a shorter path, then that's fantastic. How do we really meet our horses is a question that I'd like you to consider first of all. How does your mind meet your horse's mind? How does your movement meet your horse's mind? And this doesn't necessarily mean that your horse is a robot, where they're turned off and on autopilot. Because if you think about it, if you had no self-expression, or when you were with someone in a relationship and you just had to do what they said, go on into autopilot, how would that make you feel? It wouldn't make you feel like participating. It wouldn't make you feel very good, wouldn't it? So when our minds are meeting together, then there will be a complete willingness from your horse. Your horse will want to contribute to what you're doing, want to contribute to the conversation that's going on. And your horse will be thinking along with you. So not only are you asking your horse questions, but your horse will be asking questions back to you. And how would that feel? When it feels that good, then your horse will search for more. So they will know that that feels good. They know that you offer that to your horse. When that is the case, it turns around and maybe your horse is actually looking to impress you. So now, how does your movement meet your horse's movement? And this can be at liberty, in hand, or riding. It's all the same. Would you agree that horses are masters of movement and that their main method of communication is through movement? If we can be the best that we can possibly be for our horses, to the best of our capabilities, probably that's why you're here. If you don't maintain gait and direction, for example, I will reinforce with you with the whip. Versus, let's play at liberty, and if you don't maintain gait and direction, I'm going to be clear with my body because I've explored how I move, and I know how movement comes through me, which you pick up on so readily. Okay, so which one of those is more compelling? Which one makes you feel more compelled to be there and respond? So the question was, is it all right to let my horse change direction at liberty? You're playing at liberty, and by that I mean there's no attachment physically to your horse. There is an invisible connection, though, isn't there? The connection is through energy. The connection is through movement. If you know your pure movement and how you come through in your movement, then that is going to be far superior for communicating with your horse than if you didn't, or if you hadn't explored that. Let's answer the question about changing direction. So now it depends why your horse is changing direction. The why is always the best question to ask first, isn't it? Horses change direction for several reasons. One reason might be that their mind is not with you. They're distracted, wanting to be over there with other horses, for example. So they might be always wanting to change direction and go to that place. Another reason why a horse might be changing direction is it might be their preferred way to move. So if they're feeling insecure in that situation. Let's say you're in a big open space and you're wanting to do liberty with your horse, and your horse is feeling insecure. They're going to move in the direction where they feel most comfortable. They're going to keep their eye on the direction that they feel most comfortable. In my program, we start out with liberty with riders, and we start out in a big, huge open space and just observe the horse and what they're doing. We observe the horse from, like we said, the mind first. The mind. What is their mind doing? But of course, we need to be calm in our minds, don't we? How do I take the next step? Depending on where my horse's mind is. If the horse's mind is totally relaxed and they're with you and there's no anxiety, no desire to be somewhere else, then that's a totally different approach. And now the horse's movement. You can see, all right, which is their preferred side? Where do they have blockages in their body? Where, when they are uncomfortable, do they go? If you put more pressure on because you're insisting that they keep a certain direction, then you're not observing and evaluating the horse's movement. And this is the path from liberty to classical dressage. This is the journey where the mind and the movement come together. So in liberty, yes, you need to consider both. It's not just one. Even with a young horse, even with a horse just starting out, you need to be able to consider both. The question then becomes a misunderstanding. And those misunderstandings create anxiety in our horses. So it's very easy to sort out those misunderstandings. It's not a mystery. It's not hard. It's very easy to sort out those mysteries. It's just knowing how to approach it. And that's what we do in my program. I show you how to approach those misunderstandings that maybe have happened in the past. Maybe they're happening now. And that's what's keeping you stuck. Knowing why your horse is changing directions, that will help you to answer what you do. If your horse is playing, perhaps, your horse is having fun, you can still observe and evaluate their movement. You've evaluated their mind and you've decided, okay, my horse is just having fun. I believe that horses are not disrespectful. 99% of the time, horses are not disrespectful. It's just a misunderstanding. If you look at the horse's movement as your horse is playing, you will see what is the preferred movement. Where is your horse stuck? What does your horse have to do in order to move to the other direction? Liberty is a wonderful way to start with your horse, evaluating and then helping you to decide, helping you to choose, helping you to take your next step with your horse. Then the path up to classical dressage shows you how your horse moves, what's happening in your horse's body, and that helps you to choose what to do next. So both are interconnected, both are very closely knit in how you approach your horse, and the gap between the two is just a misunderstanding. So the more we can gain knowledge around the liberty, the classical dressage, it doesn't have to be Piaffe or etc., but that's where you can go if you want to. Thanks so much for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.